Hey everyone, my name is Ty. I'm here in the car, in the garage. This show is called Ty's Garage because this is my garage and I work on things. Today I'm inside the Subaru. We're working on getting it ready for the cage. I've got some interior work left to do, namely A pillars, B pillars, C pillars, headliner. That's all got to come out. That's kind of what I want to focus on in this video. Pretty soon you'll see me doing a dash removal video. I think it really deserves to be its own video. It's a much more involved process. This is just kind of me wrapping up the interior. Just a word on interior in general. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out how to take interiors out of cars. You have to be a rocket scientist to figure out how to put them back into cars. And even then, rocket science is probably putting things a bit, it's probably exaggerating a bit. I don't really have much regard for what I'm doing right now because I just plan on, you know, putting a cage in. I'm not going to put any of this interior back in. So if I wanted to hack it all up, I could. I prefer to keep things nice just in case, you know, as long as I have spares, in case I have something down the road where I could use a spare. But, you know, pretty much if you just, like, follow the looks of the interior, look around for things like access hatches and panels and covers and things like that, and you'll probably end up finding that it's pretty easy to get the interior of a car out. You pretty much just have to look for, you know, spots where there are clearly covers. There's probably screws underneath of them. Oddly enough, interiors really don't require that many special tools. It's just finding out where the bolts are. Now, if you wanted to put things back in where they went, that can be a bit more tricky because you have to, you know, very likely could be the case they have to go in a certain order because of all the layering. You know, getting all the wiring and things back into the pillars and all the door panels and such, that can be difficult to put back in. And if you want things to look seamless. Now, with this, we're just taking it apart. I'm not terribly concerned about it looking seamless or what have you. None of this is going back in the car. So, in case my last interior video wasn't as thorough as I wanted it to be, it's really one of those things where you could pretty much just, I mean, it's fairly intuitive, and this applies to most cars. You can pretty much just find the spots where typically Phillips head screws, flat head screws, maybe a couple like hex head bolts. Other than that, I mean, it's all pretty basic. So, yeah. Well, without further ado, I'm just gonna work on getting some of this interior out. I think the biggest struggle is gonna be this headliner. And yeah. So, here we go. Okay. So, I'm in the back of the car right now. Forgive the weird lighting setup. I'm just kind of demonstrating on the left hand. I'm just using one of my shop lamps to kind of illuminate things. It's kind of got a warm bulb in it, but I'm just kind of looking around at some of these plastic bits and just trying to think of, you know, what I can take off. Of course, you look at it, you don't really see much in the way of physical hardware. You see more in the way of, like, you know, clips and covers and such. And you can't help but wonder, what does this all even begin to hook up to? And this, look, these are actually two pieces here. So this guy's got to come off to get this guy off. There's a little job right there, and that might just pry out. Now, if you're doing this the right way, there's tools for this. Typically, they just are kind of some kind of like fork tool that comes in and pries them out properly. I don't have those tools. I have seldom interest in getting those tools, so I'm actually just going to use one of my flathead screwdrivers or like a gasket scraper or something along those lines. I've used these tools in my other videos. This is just the Napa red handle gasket scraper. I have like 5 of these because I always manage to mar the edge and end up using them as pry bars. They're really good tools for things like this, in my opinion. Let's see. I ought to take one and just put a notch in it for something like this. Let's see here. Dang, good lord. That one just kind of like popped out. It just took a little bit of muscle to make it happen. I think that can't be all that holds that piece in. Looking forward, that looks like that's the same piece that basically goes all the way up to the B pillar. But that's the first clip that's come out of it so far. Alright, so this bit that goes across from, I guess I'm calling these D pillars. I don't know if they're actually called D pillars. I'm just going alphanumerically. But there's a bit that goes across the back where the hatch is, kind of where your third taillight is. You can see I'm pushing it, pulling it down here now. The clips that hold these in are actually, you feel like you're going to break it, but evidently you're not. You just kind of got to pry down. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this scraper pry bar tool, and instead of just kind of prying on one side, I'm trying to, fidget my way all the way through so I have an equal downward pressure instead of just trying to like pry it side to side. With how these go in, prying side to side isn't going to do you much. You need to come straight down as opposed to just kind of wiggling it. So I'm just kind of working my way through. You kind of hear it popping. Oh, there you go. And once you end up with a couple of them off, they all start popping off. But there's that. Put that in the pile. And that kind of exposes the headliner here as well. Let's see. They make this stuff to where it's not only toolless, but where you use tools, they're simple tools. Well, it might seem a little silly to have something that just, pries off. You got to realize that means at the factory it just pops on. So. Yep. These bits are just held in with the same clips. There we go. Another piece comes off. Did I break it? No? Alright everyone, I got the rest of the interior panels out. I did break a couple of the tabs off. Some were basically unnoticeable, some were totally noticeable. So again, finding those tabs that hook into the body at the right spot and basically prying just at where the tab is, that's going to get you the most direct, quick result. Doing anything like I was doing, where I was just prying wherever, runs the risk of tearing the body panels or breaking them off, which for this project doesn't matter. But if you're doing this for like a friend or a customer, you do your own car and you're trying to keep it clean and staying legit, yeah, pay a bit more attention than I did. The rest of the interior, got a couple things left that I'm worrying about. I'm not going to worry about door panels offhand, because I think door panels are going to be a lot better if I leave the panels on the door, and then when the cage gets installed, we just basically cut away the sections that are necessary to accommodate the roll cage. That's what I'm going to do, and we'll see how it goes from there. But things I have to do to get the headliner out, I've got a visor left up. The visor's held in with some Phillips head bolts that basically sandwiches the headliner up at the front. Your racks, where you would put your, I don't know, your laundry, your dry cleaning or whatever. You always see those things all the way up there, but you know, I never use them. Other than that, I mean, it's already pretty flimsy. It's looking like it's pretty ready to come down. So I'm gonna hit up that 2 bolts on that visor, get those accessories, and see if I can't pull this thing down. Okay, you can see that the headliner is coming down. I'm just pointing out some notes that I didn't film. One, I didn't think about the mirror, the rear view mirror. That basically, you can just yank the whole mirror off of the headliner, and then there's like this clip that it goes onto, held on by 3 Phillips head bolts. You pull the 3 Phillips head. Everything seems to be Phillips head in this. Same thing with your luggage rack / dry cleaning hooks or whatever. I went to do the dome light as if you would do that as if you were changing a bulb. You just pop the clear cover off, and boom, there are 2 Phillips head bolts there. You can see the wire connector hanging out right about there. I just went ahead and disconnected it. That way I didn't have to worry about squeezing it through while also bringing the headliner down. I found that there's these gray oval clips that go across the whole roof. It's my understanding those are what basically hold the headliner on, and they're very similar to the clips we've seen in the interior before, where they're just kind of a tapered, you know, earplug shaped thing that basically just is designed to go in one way easily and hold it down, and then it takes a little bit of prying to get it out the other way. So I'm doing a little bit of wrestling, trying to get the thing completely unattached, detached. And I'm also running into any of the clips that broke off of the interior inside of the body shell. They stick out and they kind of get in the way of pulling the headliner out, so I kind of got to work around those. But other than that, it's coming out pretty nicely. Alright everyone, headliner came out pretty easily. Had to take out the back hatch, which makes a lot of sense. It's just as wide as the vehicle. Yeah, it's just a matter of pulling all those clips out and just dealing with all the garbage. But yeah, you can see I got like no interior components. I have the dash still. I still have to work on the dash and the seats. Those aren't the race seats, obviously. But when you daily drive a car that's also a project car, you gotta have something. So, yeah, I gotta finish cleaning up the mess that's in the car, and the interior will be ready to go. Just gotta pull out the dash to kind of accommodate the cage and pull the engine out. We should be good. That's all I got for the interior. Like I said, I've got more videos coming. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like it. If not, that's cool too, I guess. Thanks. We'll see you next time.